All right, we should be good to go. Welcome back, everyone, to yet another Moonshire Monday. Very happy to be here. Very happy to be doing some pixel art. So I showed this sprite sheet earlier. This is an experimental document of human character designs. And today we're going to be working a little bit more on this, coming up with more human ideas, different shapes. We also had a donation at the start of the stream. Before the stream started, Rick Carlson, the old school geek himself, donated. Thank you so much, Rick. I really, really do appreciate that. And he said, challenge, see if you can make smaller pixel art characters like baby bunnies that hop around Lua, hoping for food. I love that idea, so I wrote that down. We're gonna make sure that we take care of that. I wrote, draw small characters like animals. So we're gonna do that in addition to our little humans. And I'm seeing a lot of folks in chat already. By the way, I am live on Twitch and Kick. I am officially doing the triple stream now. Also, I noticed that, look, it says ew, yes, but it says whoa. That's funny. The way that the chat setup is a little bit strange still. But yeah, over the weekend I did some test streams. I streamed Vampire Survivors, and I did it on Twitch and Kick, and it worked out nice. So Kick seems to be up and running, but you know, I'm doing this mainly to test out Chala Chat. So for anyone who doesn't know, the chat stuff above my head is custom code. Baron, hello from Twitch, thank you for being here. And I wanted to make sure that everything worked from all of the different platforms. And thank you, Baron from Kick, I appreciate that. Yeah, so the chat above my head is a combined chat, and it's all custom code. I'm very happy and very proud of it. And you can try it out. It's Chala Chat, it's on Steam. Or you can check out the website, chalachat.com, or the GitHub. So there's lots of stuff to check out. Gonna take a look at the chat, seeing a lot of familiar faces. Before chat even started, before the stream even started, we had people like John McCarthy and Boyd, and let's see, who else was here? We had Avonvale and Xboom, and Wolf was here, Greldek, Sam, Future34, biggest shot ever. Thank you so much for being here. How late am I? You're not late at all. You're just in time. The stream just started, and we're in good shape. So what I'm going to show is this document here. I was working on this a few streams ago, and it was fine. So this is kind of like just showing the evolution of progress I made with these character designs. And I had a little bit of help with this too. Like, I think Ellie designed this guy here, and that was helpful. And Tris Pixels designed this purple girl here and helped with some of the perspective stuff. JJK, hi, welcome in. The sprites look awesome, thank you. I've been working more on these ones down here. I think that this is kind of the direction I'm taking things, but I like this document because it shows like the progress that I made from start to finish. These ones up here, smaller, a little bit more simpler, but you can see the ideas kind of carrying forward as the characters change. And like these ones here, this is kind of the vibe that the demo ended up going with in this character. But then I asked Tris Pixels to take a stab at it too. And he took a look at these. He made these where there's a little bit more detail, a little bit more angle to it. Allfather, hi, it's going good. Thank you for being here. I'm using a sprite. Yes, I'm using a sprite. Morning, Chalacade in chat. Thank you for being here, Rescue Squad Colt. So when I was working on these, so one of the funny things about the game though, music's kind of loud. Yeah, I noticed that too. Is it kind of like comes and goes though. Some tracks are more loud than others, I think. Those look awesome. Thank you. I think one thing that's funny about the game is that these human characters, they're like so much taller than Lua is. It's just like you're a little guy. You're just a little guy in a big world. And I kind of like that, but on the other hand, I'm trying to think ahead to when these characters are like moving around the world. Because for example, if I had this guy and he was using the spear in the same way that like the player does, because this is what I'm imagining. I'm imagining that any human can be controlled and used by the player, or all of these objects kind of go off the same code basically. Does Chala Chat have a dB cap on tracks? It could be good a feature to have a dB cap on. Oh, that's a really good idea. I wonder if I could do that. Volume limit on music. I could totally put a limiter, so I would have to code that in. Limiter on music and sound effects. That's a great idea. That's a really, really good idea. I'm gonna look into that. I bet I can, because the music is playing through Chat. We can see, like, the title, and it's just playing through this music player. But all of this is custom code. I made this music player myself, so I totally could add like a limiter feature. Because I have a limiter on my OBS, by the way, too. I have a problem where I project my voice very loudly, and I get up close to the mic like this, and sometimes it gets so loud that it peaks. But I have a limiter on it, so even if I scream, it's not gonna peak the mic. It's still gonna get loud, though. It's louder than when I'm over here. That's for sure. Is it you who makes all the art? I get help, but I make most of it. The more complicated sprites, I normally commission. And I did get a lot of help with like experimenting and coming up with, oh, remember Cap Turtle. Oh, I think I still have the document for that. I have the turtle. I don't remember the Cap Turtle. I think that we kind of, I think I remember struggling with this turtle because, I don't know. I think the shape of, this looks like the emoji. This one here looks like the emoji. And this one looks like Shuckle. And then I think I just never really succeeded with this one. Turtle indeed. ASMR content to win. I think my voice does suit ASMR in some ways. But anyway, what I was saying is that it would be really cool if any particular character had access to all the same capabilities that other characters have. So for example, the player is able to like pick up weapons and pick up items or pick up the spear and use them. And if the dimensions of all these characters are so different, I do kind of worry that's going to make it a little bit hard. So let me actually pull up items. We'll go weapons, and we'll do the spear. So we have the spear, and we'll take this. You know, actually, it's not as off as I was expecting. It still kind of looks good. I was worried that the spear is going to be too small, because the spear looks big compared to... ASMR, I love that. The spear looks big compared to the player, but here it actually kind of looks kind of normal. Whoops, I didn't mean to grab his finger. You know, that's not as bad as I was expecting. I do still think that it'll look better when they're not quite so tall, because right now they're so tall that the spear does look a little bit small on him. But like the same spear, if I took this same spear and I moved it down to the smaller characters down below, I think it'll look a little bit better. So like if this guy was carrying a spear, I think it would look better. Let me grab the spear. It looks somewhat normal. It does actually look... It looks better than I was expecting it to. The spear actually looks kind of big compared to these guys. Oops. You know, actually, it kind of looks too big. But you know, when the player in the game wields the spear, it looks good. Here, I'll go ahead and load that up real quick. So if I like, I need to spawn this, and then I'll go put on the spear. So this is what the spear looks like in the game when you wield it, when you hold it, and it's like big. It's tall. What if enemies drop the same weapons that you have, just a tad more powerful? I think something like that is probably what I'd end up going with. You know, now that I see the player like with the spear's kind of big. But I like it. I think it looks... I think that kind of goes with the theme of the game. The theme of the player character in general is that the player is small and everything else is kind of big. So I'm starting to rethink. I think I do kind of like the characters being big, and it doesn't really matter that the weapon's big too. maybe like a middle ground between this guy down here and this guy up here. Because here, I think he's just slightly too big. And then down here, I think he's slightly too small. I wonder if there's... I bet there's like a middle ground I can find. The point of the spear is to be a long-range melee weapon. It would be weird if it was the same height as the player. You're right, it would be. Let's look at like some actual medieval spearman. Medieval spearman. What do these medieval spearmen look like? Here's the medieval spearman. Yeah, that spear is a lot taller than he is. I'm afraid to like scroll through these. What if these are like bad? Just a lot of crotches. How do you get the player to look good in all four directions even when you draw two sprite variations? Yeah, that's the thing, is that the characters are like looking at a diagonal. I talked about this in a video. Ooh, which video would it have been? Because that was a problem that I had a long time ago where I was frustrated by the sprites being four directional. And so I changed it. So the answer to your question, I don't really have to pull up the video of it. The answer to your question is that basically every sprite is looking in a diagonal direction like this. Wasn't it a TikTok? It might have been a TikTok, yeah. I remember talking about it a bunch. But essentially, since all the characters are looking at a diagonal, it looks good. This one sprite looks good for looking to the left. It looks good for looking up even. It looks good for all directions. But when it's a, you know, like a Final Fantasy four-directional sprite, then you don't get that diagonal look. They're just like looking in one direction, and it doesn't translate as well. Will there be something that follows the player? Yes, there will. I can't show that right now because I have it all screwed up. Cal doesn't speak French. No, I don't. The only French I know is Je veux tout l'amour et je veux ta revanche, which doesn't really help me very much. Like a helper of some kind. Spam in chat. I mean, there was someone spamming earlier before the chat even started, and I had to put someone in timeout. What is this app? This is a sprite. And what I'm trying to do is try to find like a middle ground between this one. I don't think I said it correctly. What was it? It's Je veux tout amour et je veux ta revanche. It's Je veux ton amour et je veux ta revanche. Je veux ton amour. It's the Lady Gaga song. That's the only French I know. I know some Spanish. I know Señor por favor. I did 4 years of Spanish when I was in high school, and I don't remember any of it. I don't remember any of it, unfortunately. I really wish I did. I'm gonna try and take this character and like make him smaller. Big fan of yours? Thank you, appreciate it. Thank you for being here. Well, one other thing about like speaking languages is I imagine you have to be around it. Yeah, use it or lose it. You have to be around people that use it. You have to speak it all the time, otherwise you'll forget it. And even when you're in a class learning it, I don't think that's enough. I think you have to kind of get out in a community where people are actually speaking it. Oh god. I'm making an RPG and your game has inspired many aspects. Awesome! He looks a lot less intimidating with this face. That goes for your first language too, believe it or not. I believe that, yeah, totally. How tall is he? I've started speaking English way more than French in the past few years. I've lost quite a bit, lot of French vocab. Really, that's frustrating. So, Wolf, do you have people around you that speak French? Because I imagine that's a big thing. If, like, during my time learning Spanish, if I went and lived in Spain or Mexico or somewhere where they spoke Spanish, I think that would be a really good way to, like, immerse myself in it. It's still kind of big. Can you make animations in A-Sprite? Yes. In fact, it's really easy to, because you can use this system down here, and you duplicate it, and then let's say I move his arm up like this. Okay. So here's our animation. How many hours a day do you work on your game? I work on it every day. I probably work on it 8 hours a day. Lua's very small, but he can destroy a big lightning guy with a small sword. It's true! I compare Lua to, like, Kirby, where Kirby is really small and cute, but also very menacing. And Kirby has to fight, like, eldritch horrors, like scary space monsters. How many, let's see, yeah. So let's see, I do like this size already for him better, but I want to make him smaller yet. I think I can make his body smaller. You live with my dad, we only speak French. I have a few French online friends, but you know it's not the most deep conversations that's only spoken French. I almost exclusively chat in English. Gotcha, that makes sense. Something about the posture of this guy is really good. It took a lot of time to get this right. I think it's because this arm is like overlapping his body. That looks really good. I need to do more of that here. Where like it comes in. Not like that. That's like a potato. Can you add mobile control in your game? The plan is to try. But getting mobile support, like, published on Google Play and stuff is really hard. I'm gonna try, though. Your game is cool? Thank you. I wonder if this... So, like, how does this guy... I'm gonna call him the surfer. How does the surfer compare to what I'm working on now? Yeah, this size is good. This size is good. Add mobile control in the itch.io page. No, I'm not gonna do that for Legend of Lua. Price of the game? The current plan is for it to be $10 or less. When does the World Bowser theme come on the playlist? Mario World Bowser theme. I don't think I have that on the playlist because all the songs I choose are supposed to be like background music. And also, if it was like a Bowser theme, I worry that it would be a little bit like too dark and brooding. All of the songs have to be kind of cheery so that the vibe stays good. Why the name Chalacade? It's like a portmanteau between two words, like the word arcade and Chala comes from something else. I'd rather not say, but it's like a family name. I'm very new to game develop. I wanted to make a 2D RPG game, but I'm worried of the pixel art design. Do you think I can handle pixel art myself, or should I hire someone? I think, by the way, if you're new to game development, a game like mine that I'm making, where it's like an RPG where you can like move around and attack and do stuff, this is really complex. This is really complex. I would urge you, if you're still new to game development, try starting with something simpler. I know it's really, really tempting to jump into something complex like this, but I worry that it's going to be so complex that you won't be able to like get anywhere with it. I think what you should try, which I know I always bring this up, is making Pong or doing what I did. I made a game like this. Try making a really, really simple 2D game. And it can be pixel art. This one's not pixel art. It's jazzy. Oh yeah, I know which song you're talking about. From World. I guess I can't remember how the World theme goes. What I'm getting at is, what you see here that I'm showing you, I still use all of these same fundamentals in Moonshire. Like, you see stuff that's moving around. You can see a number going up. You have collisions. You have directions. So all of this stuff is useful information, even if this game that I'm showing here isn't what you want to make. Like, I always wanted to make a Zelda-like game as well. 3D World, gotcha. I played 3D World once, and I can't remember how that ending song goes. I played 3D World when Bowser's Fury came out, and I liked it. You know, the big problem with 3D World is the perspective. I really don't like the perspective in that game. It's really hard to tell where you are. Dude, we just got a new record. I've never gotten 63 before. My last high record was 60. 70! Oh my god, we're still going too. Come on, come on, come on. Oh, 76! 76! Oh man, I'm so happy. I've never gotten 76. My high score on this game is 60. That is crazy. I can't believe I got 76. That is wild. I've played this game so many times. I've never gotten 76. That is crazy. Because this game is RNG based. You just have to get lucky that they spawn. I try not to play this game every stream. Yeah, I mean, I can't. I have to. I always have to show it. Why don't I use the game engine? Just because I like coding things myself. That's all. 3D Rolls my childhood. I played it with my cousins every time I went down. That's cool. I like that game. I think I do remember that the final boss is like a rhythm-based one where you have to time your jumps. I think, unless I'm thinking of Mario. What's the latest Mario Wonder? I might be thinking of that one. I can't remember. I have no creative skills and I don't know how to draw anything. How do you suggest I start with a sprite? See, the thing is, I also started that way because I have YouTube videos on YouTube from when I was a young little boy. And I was really bad at pixel art as well, and I just like drew all the time and got better. Game Maker Crab. I'm gonna show this because it's relevant and funny. So here's my YouTube channel from when I was a baby boy. And like here, 16 years ago, this is me drawing a heart container.
Hey, this is Game Maker Crab. Obviously, I have not been making very many videos lately, but that is going to change, whether you believe that or not, but it is going to change. I am going to make more videos, more tutorials, or whatever you want me to make soon. And this is the first of many that is going to come. This fantastic heart and heart container sprites. Look at that. I'm such a great artist.
I'm such a great artist.
And I drew a heart container also. Look it up.
Look it up. I was so sassy. I love that. Anyway, as you can see, my sprites were not very good back then. But I did it anyway. And that's how you get better, is you just draw all the time, and it gets better over time. Soon, 15 years later, still haven't uploaded yet to Game Maker Crab. Young Kyle giving us homework to understand his videos. Basically, yeah. Can you make pixel art in Paint? Yeah, you totally can. I would recommend using, let's see, what would be something better than Paint? I would use GIMP. GIMP is better than Paint. Paint.net is better than Paint. And then I bet there are some like free pixel art programs. What's that? Yeah, LibreSprite. Use LibreSprite. I think LibreSprite would be a great option. Also, and I'm not even joking, what's an online pixel art editor? I bet that there's some good ones. Piskel. I've used this. Ugh. Sorry. Advertisements, go away. Okay, I can't really... I have to have an advertisement on the side. I don't like that. But genuinely, I would probably just use this to get started. If you are brand new to making pixel art, don't buy anything. Just use this app. Use a free pixel art thing and try it. And because you're able to download these sprites after you make them, I'm sure. It would be insane if you couldn't. I think that this would be a really good way to get started with it. It's a beautiful tool. I love web-based tools. I think they're great. And ads are annoying, but you know what else is annoying? Paying for apps. Paying for things is also annoying. What engine do you make your game on? It's Love2D is the framework that I use. Let's get back over to working on our sprites. Yeah, so I'm thinking that if this guy was more of the size of this guy, it would look better. I still don't like how this guy looks. I need to make him look better. He looks very mean. Have a character having 3 to 5 places that goes like gym, university, some lifestyle places. I mean, that sounds like a cool concept. You could grab a transparent image, grab the pencil tool, and draw in MS Paint. Yes, assuming that you have a transparent background too. Because like, I think Paint by default has like solid background, and it might even export as JPEG by default. If you want a transparent background, it needs to be a PNG. That's something that you need to keep in mind. And even with Paint, even with GIMP, I've found it sometimes kind of annoying to do a transparent image because You have to actually add a background transparent layer in order to get that working right. It's gonna be hard for someone new. Well, so Jack Ward, the game you described, where it's like, it sounds still pretty complex. So be honest with me. Have you made a game before that is like that comic game that I just showed? Because if you haven't made a game like that, you should make that first. Then, if you have made a game like that and you have experience and you know what you're doing, then you should kind of have an idea of if you're capable of making a game like that. Because the hard parts of making a game isn't really the pixel art, because you have to animate it and you have to code in the character and code in the collisions, code in the camera. You have to have all the logic in place. The assets, the pixel art, the level design, the music, the writing, all of that stuff is the easy part. That's the easy part. The hard part is coding it and making it work and making it run, making the software work and making it work on other people's computers. The easy part is making assets. This is the easy part. I hate to say it. The hard part is making it. So my advice is to make a small game. Even if you think that you can draw sprites like this, I bet you can. Taking sprites like this and making it into like a playable character in a game world that like has collisions and movement and all this stuff is really, really hard. I made a game with 5 levels, but I only had a day to make it because it was for a jam. It was pretty fun, but it's short. Nice, that's good. I love game jams for that reason, where it encourages you to really stick to limitations. Because it's easy to get like a really big head where you want to make all this cool stuff. You have all these ideas. It's really ambitious, and like speaking from experience, Moonshire was so ambitious when I started, and I kind of had to dial it back. And now I'm kind of going through that process again because like I'm working on the level editor, and that's kind of like overboard. I don't need to be doing that, but I'm choosing to anyway. So it's hard to balance that stuff. Anyway, I was gonna show GIMP real quick because GIMP is a free image editor. And what you can do is you can do File, New, we'll make a new sprite. I think advanced options you can probably set transparency. There we go. Because that's an important aspect. You need to have transparency as the background. Because if you don't have the transparency, if you go to New, and then you don't have it set to, if you have it set to background color, it's going to be a filled-in image. And if you start drawing pixel art on top of this, you're going to have a filled-in background. What you would need to do is you need to go over here and then add a new layer that's transparency, and then you can delete the background. And then now you're working off a transparent layer. I think GIMP's kind of annoying. I think I should make some simple games through videos and then come back. Do you do live streams often? Yes, I do live streams every Monday at this exact same time. And then recently I've been streaming on Twitch. I've been doing pretty much whenever I'm playing games, I just do it on Twitch, and it's been a lot of fun. So the folks on Twitch, I really appreciate you being here. Anyway, the reason I pulled up GIMP is because this program is free, and GIMP can do pretty much anything that like Photoshop can do, except GIMP is free and open source. I'm a big fan of open source software. Same with SVGs. So if you do any like vector art, SVGs, I use Inkscape for that rather than Illustrator. That Illustrator uses GIMP for everything. Nice, that's good. I bet that you're better at GIMP than I am because I actually struggle with GIMP sometimes. There's some, here, I'm gonna actually show, I'm not gonna show that, that's gonna take too much time. But GIMP I think has a little bit of a learning curve. I think that Aseprite has a little bit of a learning curve too with this, the frame editor thing too. You know, I think it's normal for good software to have that. I'm gonna try and make, I don't know if I want to make them any shorter. Maybe I should make them shorter. Hold shift to draw straight pixel, perfect lines. Yeah, I remember doing that. I always forget about that. It's the same with rotating because like you rotate sprites sometimes and you can like press shift to snap, and that makes it a lot easier. Yeah, I really love the soundtrack. Oh, did you notice that? Look, I typed in jam with all capitals by mistake and it still worked. I must have fixed it at some point. Well, mate, we're just working on some pixel art. So this is a pixel art sheet that I had from a few streams ago. And we're just working on some of the dimensions because basically the characters in the game are currently this size. And I want to kind of find a middle ground between this size and this size. I really like how this character here looks, but I think I kind of want to go for something bigger. Using layers is something I'm still not able to do, just never think about it. I think about it a lot. And honestly, I forget about it too. It's really easy to forget. I'd say with a sprite, I forget. Oh, whoops. Oh yeah, I needed to delete this frame. With a sprite, I forget about that a lot because it's really convenient though. You can do new layer, and then you can just like start drawing in. Like, what if I wanted to experiment with a different hairstyle for this guy? Okay. So we're gonna give him a beautiful golden lock of hair. He's gonna be beautiful. Okay. Okay, that's great. And then we're gonna do the outline. He has like an 80s hair. Nah, we're gonna move this in. It looks too weird. Try to teach you A-Sprite real quick. She lost when I showed her 32K pixels art. Wow. I mean, the thing is though, all of my pixel art ends up merging into one single layer because the A-Sprite files, I have these A-Sprite files, and these store all of the layer data. I don't know if any of these have layer data in it. Oh, this one does. Yeah, I remember when we worked on the palm tree. This is a great example actually. Is we have the different layers of the palm tree. We have this back leaf. We have this coconut. We have all that. This coconut and these leaves. I think that that's a really, really smart way of making pixel art. The sideshow Bob tree, exactly. Oh yeah, we can like play the animation. So you can see it getting built. I really like this. And, but in the end though, when this gets merged into pixel art, it gets flattened. Unless it gets, you know, I shouldn't even say that. If this was one single sprite, then it would get flattened, but I think that actually in this case I would keep it as separate layers. I would probably flatten, what would I do? I would probably flatten the coconuts onto one layer, and then keep the leaves on separate layers. Where are those eyes? Yeah, there's this one that we turned into Sideshow Bob from The Simpsons. But yeah, that's a really good like progress. It's cool that like it starts from this trunk. This doesn't look anything like a palm tree. And actually, there was a point where Wolf, you gave a really good suggestion. Wolf was the one that suggested rings. Yeah, from this step to this step. This was Wolf's idea. I remember you being the one to suggest that. Did it take you to learn to draw, and how did you come up with the character? I've been working on sprites and drawing and stuff since I was a kid. So it just comes over time. And then the character itself came from, like, I had a human character that the game was made with, and then I decided, well, not everyone looks like me, because the character was like a white guy with brown hair, but not everyone's a white guy with brown hair. I thought that this character is kind of better for a self-insert where anyone can see themselves in Lua. I think I mentioned the tree bark. Oh, maybe it was that. I remember you gave me some really good idea. It might have been the tree color. Yeah, it might have been this step. Lua face reveal tree. Basically. Yeah, maybe this can be like a little Easter egg. Oh, but anyway, the reason I gave him a new like hairstyle is because I wanted to demonstrate why the layers is useful. Because like I totally screwed up the sprite, but it's all on a separate layer. So like you can make edits to sprites all on a separate layer, and then it doesn't really matter. It's really clean and easy. Do I work full-time on this game? Yeah, I do. Anyone who played Mario Wonder, this game is really fun. It's really fun and has a good soundtrack. How long has Moonshire been in development so far? A long time. If we counted like when Legend of Lua started, it's been like 6 years. But the game has gone through different identities. It hasn't actively been in development for 6 years. And also, I do step away and work on other projects. I've worked on other games. I worked on Shallow Chat, like the chat stuff above my head. I probably took half a year off to work on that, maybe not quite that long. And then all my games on my websites. I pay the bills. So before I was full-time working on this, I was a software developer. I worked at Microsoft. And during that time, I lived very frugally, and I still live very frugally. I live in a one-bedroom small apartment, and I just live on next to nothing. I live by myself, no family or anything. I just take care of myself. And during the time at Microsoft, I just saved and saved and saved. And so now I've saved up enough where I'm going to be able to get through the rest of the development and get the game out, and then I'll monetize in different ways going forward. I can monetize the YouTube channel, I can monetize the game, I can sell the soundtrack, I can sell merch, I can sell more tutorials, put more work into Udemy. There's lots of things I can do to monetize, but right now the truth is I'm living off of savings. That is the way that full-time game development works, and I don't anticipate selling this game is going to turn a profit. Really, really good games release, and they don't necessarily always make money. And I'm not counting on this game making money. I want people to play this game. Do I make the audio myself? Yes, I do. I tend to get like sound effects as like a starting point, but then I edit them myself. Is there truth in the idea that if you want to be a successful indie dev, it's better to be a YouTube game dev and releasing games isn't as important? I'll rephrase it. You can be an indie dev right now. You can just say, I'm an indie developer. And there you go, you're an indie dev. But this idea of being a full-time indie developer is very lofty. It's a very lofty goal. I don't really know anyone that does that. I'm not a full-time indie game developer because a full-time indie game developer implies that you're making money from selling games enough to sustain your lifestyle. And I really just don't think that's very feasible. I don't think most indie developers are able to sell their games with enough of a profit to pay their bills. I think that what it comes down to is you need some other source of income to pay for the game's development, to pay for your bills, and even when the game releases, it's very unlikely that it'll turn a profit because the games that make money are the best of the best of the best. The top 1% of games make money. And do you know who makes the top 1% of games? It's the top 1% of developers. So if you are not the top 1% of developers, I think you should go into it with the expectation that your game will not make money. I don't consider myself top 1% of developers. I think my game is going to be good, but I don't think that it's going to be so good that people are going to give me so much money that I'll be able to pay all my bills. Because keep in mind, paying your bills is a lot of money. My one-bedroom apartment is $1,200 per month, and that's just for rent. My electricity is like $150. My internet is $100. My food is a few hundred. My car is, I don't know, however much. Like all this stuff adds up. We're talking thousands of dollars per month just to live. And so let's say it was $3,000 a month to live. That's still really cheap, by the way. $3,000 to live is $36,000 per year. How much money are your indie games making? And how long does it take to make them? Because if it takes you 1 year to make an indie game, and it makes $36,000 in that year, that might be enough to live on. You know, selling a game on Steam, though, they take 30%, and then also you have to pay taxes on that, so you don't actually make $36,000. You make like $25,000, so $25,000 a little, like that's pretty hard to live on. $3K a month is not cheap. That is cheap here. Well, you know, how much, yeah, I mean, that's as cheap as I can make it. I don't see how I can make it any cheaper than $3K a month, considering all the expenses I have. Maybe I don't spend quite that much, but I think I get up there. I get close to that. Is this game capable on Android? It can be, yes. I know how to make Android games, and I know how to make them with Love2D as well, but it's a challenge. Personally, I don't monetize my games. They're just learning projects with multiple game frameworks and programming languages. Yeah, I feel the same way. None of my games are paywall. You'll probably make a little money. Your channel is pretty big. Basically, a walking ad from how nice the devlogs were. Yes, thank you. I appreciate that, Bub. And I'm with you. If I did sell my game for $10 on Steam, and I kept making videos about it, and I kept talking about it, and the videos were good, I think people would buy it. And I think that it would work out. But at the same time, that kind of sheds light on what the actual moneymaker is, doesn't it? Is that it's not really the game itself that's making the money, it's the YouTube aspect that's making money. And someone asked earlier, is it better to be a YouTube dev or is it better to be like a full-blown game developer? And my answer was, you need some other form of income that's necessary. Even if you make that 36K from the game, it took you the year to make 36K, and that 36K won't come in all at once. Yeah, and then a lot of games take more than 1 year, and 36K is very like that's optimistic. That's optimistic. I don't want to bring up examples. It's just too rude to bring up examples. But I'm thinking of specific games that are genuinely awesome, genuinely amazing, but considering the development time it takes to make a good game like that, they are not making a profit. They're just not, and that's sad. Because it'd be nice to think, oh, well, anyone who makes something good deserves to live off of it, but that's just not how it is, unfortunately. You have to pay the bills, and paying the bills is really expensive. Anyway, have I ever gotten bored making my game? Actually, surprisingly, not really. Really, my trick to making it work is that I jump around between projects. It's like I work on Chat a lot, I work on my websites. There's some other games I work on, so I try to just like keep things fresh and mix it up. This might have I might have taken it too far even. I think I want to be bigger than this. Only way I can be a full-time indie developer is because I have a running Patreon where people can play the game in early access with monthly updates. That's awesome. That is so awesome. Something like that makes perfect sense. Having a steady stream of income. People do Kickstarters too, and like that funds it. I think that's perfectly possible. I think that the vision that a lot of people have though when they think full-time indie dev, I think what they think is that they can spend all their time making games, and then they release a game on Steam, and then that release pays for everything. And then they can just work on the next game, and then the next release pays for everything. It really isn't that much. I think what you're finding out is, like you said, you have a Patreon. People are actively, like, involved. They are following you in your development process. And it's more than just the game itself. They kind of want to be a part. They want to see development, like, in itself. It's more than just the final product. So that's the thing, is that like I'm turning my game into more than just the final product. I'm developing it and making content about the development, and some of that content does make money. Like my streams make some money and some of my videos make some money, but even that's not very much, by the way. My YouTube channel makes less than it's less than $200 now. I'll pull it up just to prove it. Where is the show revenue? They moved it. Sorry, they moved things around. I don't see the revenue anymore. Oh, here it is. Yeah, it's under 200. I don't make very much money. And $200 pays for your food at loose. Yeah, you could say that. It does kind of. But, when rent is $1,200, this kind of doesn't feel very good, is what I'm saying. Is even if you have a successful YouTube channel, you need to be posting to it constantly. And if you're posting to your YouTube channel constantly, you're not working on your game. And if you're not working on your game, then your game's not going to get done, but you're going to be making money from your YouTube channel, assuming that the channel is making money. And also, by the way, like, it took me a long time to get to this point. Even 100, like, that's a lot of money. It's not sustainable. So the way to make that work, by the way, if I wanted to make my YouTube channel profitable, what I would need to do is, 1, I would need to start posting more. 2, I would need to do sponsors. That's the big one. 159K subs, you only get 200. Well, the thing is, it's about watch time. It's all about watch time. And because my content is short form, I post like TikTok, like shorts and My devlogs are like 4 or 5 minutes long. And those videos, the ad revenue on short videos is very low. You don't get very much money for it. If it's a longer video where the watch time is longer, then you make more money. Like these live streams. The VODs do produce some money because they have mid-roll ads and it's like a 2-hour long video. So those actually do make some money. But sponsors, I think, are the real moneymaker, because if I like posted a devlog once per month, like one devlog per month, that's it, I can get a partnership with some company, some product, and they can say, if you spend 30 seconds in your video talking about XYZ product, then we will give you a paycheck. And that paycheck, depending on your channel size, depending on your reach, it can be like $4,000, $3,000. It depends. It depends on how much you talk about it. Depends on what the deal is, how much reach you have. But let's say for me it was $4,000. That means that my job would become, I need to make one video per month for sure, with the sponsorship in it. Then that in itself would pay for my lifestyle. And I think that that is what a lot of people do, is the sponsorships are what make the whole thing sustainable. Because ad revenue, I mean, I'm sure ad revenue is sustainable when you have like long form content or a lot of it, but yeah, it's hard to really say. But your video on Steam ends with coming 2024. Yeah, I do know that. I need to make a new trailer altogether. I think that would be really good. Okay, I'm gonna take this guy. I'm gonna try and make a version of him that is the same height, because I like this height a lot. He had no time to work on my game, I see. Have I played Amori? I haven't played it, but I watched, what is it, the Ulrich salad bar overview of it, and it's really good. So I should probably play it. I bet I'd like it, because, you know, it's like the Earthbound style. But I think the big appeal of that game is the story and the narrative. And, you know, these days I'm a little bit picky on narratives and story. I think I'd still like Amori, though. I'm trying to find... These arms do look kind of good. Maybe I don't need to change the arms. It's just that I'm trying to find the right body shape for him. Should it come down like this? Or should it stick out? You'll probably get Undertale. Nice. I love Undertale. Undertale is a top tier game. That's super good. Couldn't really get into Amori's gameplay. The story was so good though that it gave me enough motivation to see it through to the end. Nice. That's cool. That's why like I felt like watching the Ulrich salad bar video was enough for me, because it tells the story in a really, really nice way. With great animation, but the game itself, I think that I would still like it. I probably should play it. See, the part I'm having trouble with this guy is if I put the pixel here, I feel like it's too wide. Or it's like it's too far back. Yeah, I think it's too far back is the problem. Maybe I need to make his whole body wider. Nothing wrong with being a little chunky. RPG Maker type games. Have you played Fear and Hunger? Well, that's an adult game. Only play that if you're like 18 plus. But I've been watching a lot of Fear and Hunger lore videos, and I love it. Love it. It's so cool. But yeah, it's pretty explicit. I wouldn't recommend it if you're a young person. Another game I played, an RPG Maker game I played, was To the Moon. I played this one. This game was... I played it in 2016. That's crazy. That's an RPG Maker game. Big fan of RPGs, but I really couldn't care less for the story. So games like Undertale or Amori that are super story-based, really couldn't get into. That makes sense. I understand. I'm picky with stories, where I can get into stories, but I am so picky now that it tends to not really work out in my cases. I used to be like a story buff, because I was really into JRPGs when I was in college. This pixel right here is driving me crazy. This pixel. This one. I don't know what to do with it. I drop games if I'm not into the story. What did I do that with? Oh, it was Sea of Stars. Because Sea of Stars is very story-based. Really good, too. I think the story in that game is good. My problem with that game was the pacing. It wasn't the story. I actually liked the narrative and the story and the characters. It just felt like it wasn't moving fast enough. And yeah, I did drop that one because it felt like it was a little too story-based. I'm trying to be Jeevel in Deltarune Chapter 1. Nice. I like that song, yeah. Yeah, something's wrong with his... It looks like he's wearing, like, dungarees. I don't like that. Korix, hi! Thank you for being here. Appreciate you joining on all the streams. I appreciate that. It's really nice. Man, I really like how this character looks. His pose is so perfect. Mother 3 music, I love that game too. Mother 3 is cool. I think that it has too slow of an opening because the first several chapters are very linear, but once it opens up, I think it's so fun. Love leveling up and getting new skills and whatever. People make fun of JRPGs because battles are basically just a spreadsheet, but that's what I love. That's what I love too, is the building your team, building your party. I really love when a game lets you customize your characters super extremely to where it feels like it just feels very customized, very personal. Something about that is nice. That's something I kind of want to do with my game, where I want there to be a lot of weapon options. And even if some of the weapons are similar to each other, I still want there to be a lot of weapon options because having that variety means that players have choice, and player choice means a lot. It's the same with Pokemon. Like, the reason Pokemon's kind of fun to me is because you can choose which team you want to make based on your favorites or whatever synergies you can think of. And teaching them the moves that they have is part of the fun. This sassy pose he has is definitely not going to stay. I think that his width is good. Maybe his legs should be skinnier. Like this. Looks funny, I know. I'm still working on it. It'll get there. It looks like he's wearing like tights. I'm kind of butchering my boy. Maybe I should try it the opposite direction. Maybe I should take this guy and try and make him bigger. Is this for the ballet costume DLC? You know, if you played Deltarune Chapter 5, there's a character in Deltarune Chapter 5 that reminds me of this. It's a very blue character. There you go. That's what he looks like. How a couple pixels change how the sprite looks. I know, it is crazy. So if I scale him up, what's gonna happen? All right, he's a monster. Shoot. See, here's the problem: is that he's looking too far to the right now. I don't want him to look to the right. I want him to look forward. Oh, actually, you know, he looks like the guy from Guardians of the Galaxy now. I didn't even intend for that, but now he really looks like that. The next Mario movie's gonna be called Mario... I don't know. What if they made a Mario Sunshine movie? I guess the Mario Galaxy movie already was the Mario Sunshine movie, because it has, like, the paint and flood and stuff. I guess it doesn't have... It does have flood in it. Flood's like a little cameo. Bro melted. I think I need to make him one skinnier. I don't think that he can be this wide. Because I need him to be facing forward. By the way, later this week I'm going to be playing the Pokopia DLC. I'm going to be playing that on Twitch. Have they played any Kirby's games? Oh, yes, I have. I love Kirby. My first one was Kirby Nightmare in Dreamland. And then, because that's a remake of Kirby's Adventure. And I played Amazing Mirror and Air Ride. I have Air Riders. I haven't played that yet, though. I have it. I need to get on that. or these new sprites. So it's just, I'm trying to decide the direction to take for these human characters. 'Cause I have all these human sprites, and I just need to figure out what direction I want to take things. Amazing Mirror is my favorite one, for sure. In fact, I talked about Amazing Mirror in my devlogs. Return of Dreamland was my first. That's awesome. I actually never played that one. I should. They remade it for Switch, I think. I should play it. I'm gonna try making him wider, but he has to be two pixels wider if I want to make him wider. So we'll go 1, 2, and then 1, 2. Maybe 1. Is that too big? How does that compare to the other ones? I think that is too big. No, it's not too big. It is too big. It is too big. He only needs to go up by 1. So we're gonna try that again, but I'm gonna go over 2 and then up 1. Did I try Dewdrop Dynasty? Yes, I did. I played it and I completed it. In fact, I beat the game yesterday. I went back and finished it because when I streamed the entire game, by the way, on Twitch, and I got to the very, very final boss, and there was a problem because the final boss had a cutscene that you couldn't skip, and it was driving me nuts. So I ended up quitting, and then he patched it so that you can skip the cutscene, and it made it so much better. And I went back and finished it, and I liked it. I thought it was good. Is gonna copyright you for playing these Nintendo music in my stream. I've been struck many times, or claimed. I've been copyright claimed many times. And what happens is, I play these songs on my stream, and it'll tell you, if one of these songs causes any sort of monetization problems or copyright claims, it tells you specifically what song causes a problem, and then I just remove it from my playlist. And I cut that part out of the stream, and then we move on. I've basically done a lot of research and trial and error to figure out which songs do cause problems and which ones don't. And I've found that Nintendo first-party songs like this tend to have no problems. It's mainly the third-party tracks from like Square Enix or from Atlas. I can't play any Square songs, I can't play any Atlas songs, which is sad because I really love Atlas music. I would love to play Persona music. I would love to play some SMT music, but I can't because they tend to claim it. And so I can probably even show my my folder because I have my music and then game. So I have my game. This is all my music. This is a folder of MP3s. But in a different folder, I moved out into this folder called Retired. I call this folder Retired. So in this folder is all the songs that used to be in the stream, but I removed them for some reason. And in this folder called Demonetized, I have every song that has caused some sort of monetization problem. And yeah, even some Zelda songs. But I think what it actually is some people take these Zelda songs, claim it as their own, and then they strike channels that use that song. I know that another song that had this problem was Twilight Princess Farron Woods. Because I was watching a Linkus video and he was talking about how Farron Woods, people would just play Twilight Princess and then their entire playthrough would be copyright claimed because Farron Woods would cause some sort of weird music issue. So I just took it out of the stream. Can't play it anymore. A bunch of Pokemon music. Not this song, but it was a different Pokemon song. I can't remember which one it was. It would have been demonetized probably. Yeah, some black and white songs. Route 10 and Driftvale. I wasn't able to include those anymore. Yeah, Driftvale is specifically the one. A lot of people were getting claimed with Driftvale. I got a few of my tool-assisted speedruns get copyrighted for random overworld music. I don't know what the deal with that is. It's so annoying. Well, I do know what the deal with it is. The deal with it is that anyone can take these MP3s and upload them to some sort of music ID site, publish the songs as their own. And I know Driftfield is such a good song, and I can't play it anymore. And they basically just the music ID system thinks that the song is theirs. It's just so dumb because it's a banger. I know it is sad. I'm not really feeling the bigger character, if I'm being honest. What shows do you grow up watching in your childhood? I watched a lot of SpongeBob. I watched a lot of like Jimmy Neutron and Fairly Odd Parents and whatever was on Cartoon Network. I liked like Dexter's Lab and what else was on Cartoon Network? I can't even remember now because of the dancing toothless meme. I think it was. I remember when it was around the same time when that meme was becoming big. I'm changing my. He's got like a Peter Griffin chin now. I hate that. Garden of Hopes and Dreams. Yeah, that's a really good song. That one's in the stream playlist. I think. Did I take it out? I hope I didn't take it out. If I took it out, then it was because it was too distracting. That's the only problem. So if I make it one wider like this, what are my options? I just don't like how he's looking too far to the right. It looks like he's aiming to the right when he needs to aim like this, because this is the same face for when he's looking down. Maybe I could try something different. Don't do a Peter Griffin chin, you have to censor it. Yeah, I could do that. Johnny Test. I actually never watched that one. The boomerang minigame is very annoying, gave me such a small time limit. Yeah, the boomerang minigame is kind of annoying, I agree with you there. So here's another option, is I was getting mad that like the face is looking too far to the right, but I could do, I don't know why Johnny Test was held for review, I'm not sure. Yeah, YouTube is really strange with its like comment ID. So what I could do is I could detach the face, like the eyes, where like when he's looking to the right, it actually has its eyes over here like this. And then when he's looking down, it could move down here like this. Like that. But I really just prefer how it looks right here, where it's a neutral expression. I could make the head no, I can't make the head smaller. I could make the head untouched. Here, I'll make the head untouched but the body bigger. We're gonna do that. We're gonna take the body. Eyes down look very weird. Yes, it does. I do it a little bit with the player actually. I can probably show it. Look really closely at the player's eyeballs. Do you see how when I'm falling, the player's eyeballs like go down? It's really hard to see. But do you see how the eyeballs are aiming downwards? That's actually programmatic. The animation, the frame, I don't think has that built into it. Yeah, it doesn't. Look. This is what the frame looks like. The frame looks like this, where the eyes are just like facing forward. But in the game, they're offset to be more downward facing because it looks like he's falling. And that's something that I could do for the humans as well. That's totally something I could do. Use lerping. Ooh. I mean, that's kind of what it is, yeah. Look down when we talk to them because we're short. Yeah, that's kind of what I did with this guy. Because... wait, what did I do? Yeah, I made it look like he's more facing downward, I think. Oh yeah, by default, he normally has his eyes up this way, like this. But I changed it so that he's like looking down at the player because he's short. So I'm gonna take this body. You call NPCs human because it implies our character isn't human. Yeah, I guess that's true. You're right. I don't know why I do that. Because they're outwardly humans, I guess. I probably should come up with like a clear name. One thing I was thinking about doing is that like, this is the Lua character, or even that's kind of confusing. Like the hooded character, maybe. Or if like these were the races of people, these are the human race. This is the human race, and then this could be like a different race, or I don't know. Maybe there could be a character creator. That's something I'm thinking about too. It'd be fun. The blue guy is a human. This is just an experiment. There are also NPCs that aren't human. Yeah, there's like the birds and stuff. So humans just like specifically referring to these ones. This is kind of tricky. I can make him one wider again. Is that too wide? It's probably too wide. Oh, that doesn't make any sense at all. But about adding different hats, headgear to the NPC characters. It's so funny that you say that because I actually am. In the next devlog, in the thumbnail, I'm gonna show the player character having a hard hat, like a yellow hard hat. Let's do a quick draw of that. And also, before I forget, I wanted to draw a bunny. This is like a little too short, I think. And then we're gonna make it like a construction orange yellow. And then maybe I could do something like this, actually. And then let's add some shading to it. Does that read? Needs a brim. It could probably, like, I meant for this bottom part to be the brim, but it probably could use, oh, like a longer one. Yeah, I can make it like a baseball cap brim. Yeah, I think that reads better. I needed to adjust the proportions though. We were talking about Kirby earlier. Yeah, this song is in Kirby Nightmare in Dreamland, because it's like a remake. I love that game. Now it looks like a taco. Yeah, something about it's off. I think the brim is too angled. You don't like getting a drawing tablet for art? I don't need one. For pixel art, I really don't need one. And also, I do have one. I have one in the apartment even. I could bust it out, but just I feel like I have full control over the mouse and over the drawing pixel art. So I've never really felt like I needed that. I'm not quite satisfied with that. I actually drew a hard hat earlier. Let me pull this up. Because I drew a hard hat. I drew this one. That kind of looks like a hard hat. Still doesn't look that great though. Mario Sports Mix track. The music in Mario Kart World is crazy. They put a lot of effort into it. I haven't played too much of that game though. This doesn't read at all. This doesn't look like a hard hat. Let's look up a picture of a hard hat. Yellow hard hat. How can I make this work? was very underwhelming. Yeah, I think the big problem with it was the transition tracks. It seems like they kind of make it go a little too slow. There should be a headlight. Oh, that's a good idea. Yeah, that's a great idea. Let's try that. Put the hat 1 pixel down, makes him cuter. So what I actually think I'm going to be doing is I'm going to have it down half a pixel. That does look good too, though. I might actually do that. That probably does look better. How do I make this light more round? Something's still not quite right with it. That fits him better. Anti-aliasing by hand for the roundness. I mean, yeah, that's basically what I'm doing. Oh, you mean like adding another? Oh, yeah, we can do that. So I'm gonna do that, and then yeah, we'll just do like a brighter shade like that, and then we'll do a brighter shade like this. I see what you're saying. That's a good suggestion. Yeah, I don't normally like doing that though, because you see how it adds a lot of detail to that spot. Let's see if I can make it more bright. I'm just gonna increase the brightness of all these colors. That's alright. I'll keep it for now. I think that I want them brighter still. Bob the Builder for reference? Okay. I'll do that. Yeah, where is good old Bob the Builder? Man, what a legend. What a cool guy. Someone asked earlier, what shows did you watch when you were a kid? I watched this when I was a kid. I watched Bob the Builder. I loved it. And I liked the art style in this show. But anyway, his hard hat has like one big wedge in the middle of it. Is that what the other hard hats look like? Kinda. None of these really look like hard hats though. Why are you looking at hard hats? Because I need to give... I'm trying to give Lua a hard hat. I need to get something... How can I do this? How can I do this? I like the idea of having a rim. Let's try doing that again. Oh, why does it do that? Maybe the back could have less of a rim? And then I can like... No, that made it worse. That looks bad. Add a strap. I think I don't know where the strap would go. I really need to get the shape of the hat better first. I like it being down. By the way, all of this is on layer 2, so I can just like get rid of it. That's something that's helpful with working on layers. Was FF9 an inspiration for the main character? No, but yeah, like, you're talking about Vivi? Yeah, totally, I see that. What character would I probably be most inspired by for Lua? Because, like, this idea of a hooded character with glowing eyes, I would say is not that original. I feel like I've seen it before in lots of places. Maybe, like, a Shy Guy was an inspiration. Maybe, like, I don't know, what, like a Grim Reaper. When I was a kid, actually, for Halloween, I went as a Grim Reaper a few times. But I never had, like, glowing eyes. I just had the hood. So I'm not really sure. I think that the center bulge is the mandatory to read as hard hat. Okay, I agree with you. I agree with you. I'm going to move this, and I'm going to put this... I like the shape of this one, but I'm going to get rid of the light for now. I'm going to change it back to yellow. Shy Guy, no mask. That is kind of... A Lizard of Legend is the one that looks the most. But yeah, so that's funny. I think that one does look the most like it. Here, let me pull that up. Because I played it a lot, actually. I played it for 6 hours. I do think that these characters do look a lot like Lua, but also I did design Lua before Wizard of Legend came out, as far as I know. I'm sure I can think of a specific example. I'm sure I can. You know, here I have another example. Is enter the Gungeon characters. Because there's literally a Gungeoneer that looks like Lua. It's the co-op character, if you're familiar with Enter the Gungeon. And this guy, the cultist. Do you have pictures of him? Oh, that's cute. Yeah. So I isn't Wizard of Legend old? Oh, maybe, I guess it is. Yeah, I don't think I heard about it until after I started working on Legend of Lua, though. Is that Microsoft Edge? Yes, it is. I'm an Edge user. Yeah, Wizard of Legend is older than I thought it was. I'm gonna think about that, because I'm sure I can find a better example. I don't think either of those examples are that good. Is he in this picture? Oh, he's not. Oh, I haven't even played it on Steam. I played it on Switch. Yeah, he doesn't have a hood. Yeah, not sure. Firefox Chromium Edge? Well, Edge is Chromium based. So what exactly... I actually could use your help, maybe, Mateo. What benefits does Firefox and Chrome have over Edge? Besides, you know, I can see if someone really hates the Copilot button, I can see that. But, like, I actually don't really know. Because Edge is Chromium based. So if your concern is about, like, the tech behind it, they're all the same. And I've personally not really been super impressed by Firefox. Firefox kind of embeds a lot of crap into their browser as well. But it is worse. For example, Edge has AI. Chrome takes up way more RAM. Edge has AI. I mean, yeah, Edge does have the Copilot button. I don't think it's more AI, like, ridden than Chrome is, though. Like, you go to Chrome, you Google something, it gives you an AI response. Is that really that much different? Like, there's definitely a Gemini button somewhere in Chrome as well. Like, and if that's the only reason, I bet that you can turn off Copilot as well. So, like, if we're going with, like, what's the best browser, I think I would need more. I think I need a little bit more. CG Krez, hi, welcome in. You use Opera? Nice, I've never actually tried Opera. I used Firefox when I was younger, and I always thought it was annoying to use compared to Chrome, but that was 12 years ago. I think that things are so much different these days, yeah. Firefox best? That's what people say, but I am not convinced. I'm not convinced. I have it. I use it. When I was a web developer, I used all three. Actually, I used all of them. I used Internet Explorer even, because we had a client that used Internet Explorer, and we had to make sure that the site worked for Internet Explorer. And Mateo says Edge is better than Opera. Had a cap sticking out. Yeah, I did like a little brim for these. I think that what I want Someone mentioned the wedge. I think the wedge is the secret sauce. But the trick, I don't know how to make a wedge read on this. Let's get rid of the shading. I've tried them all, have used them all for testing for work, and Vivaldi is the one I settled on, the one that you like. Nice, that's cool. I've never heard of Vivaldi, though. I'm so obsessed with the hard hat. The roundness on top is symmetrical, which makes it look like a safari hat. Oh, okay, so you're saying it's a little bit too flat. You're right, I think you're right about that. Yeah, all of these are really round. They're like there's no flatness on top. Good call, that's a really good call. That is absolutely a big factor here. So let's fix that. Thank you. So we need to make it taller. Actually, these stay up here. And then... maybe it should be taller than that still. It's probably more like a bucket hat if I do that. Netscape, wow, that's a callback. How do you come up with your main character design? I'm creating my own game, don't really know how to make my main character. Yeah, I mean, I tried out a bunch of different stuff. I know it's hard to come up with characters, but like, even now, I'm trying to design these human characters, and you see the process I'm going through, right? I'm just drawing a bunch of stuff. I don't actually have a clear goal. I don't have a clear idea. I didn't make this guy with like this vision in my head. I like experimented. You're looking for work, but these sprites are great. Thank you. The answer to your question is just iteration. Is just trying all the time. Have I played Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown? I've been looking for new Metroidvanias, and that one seems recommended. Nice, that's cool. Is that the Ubisoft one from a couple years ago, where it's like a 2.5D or like a 3D character? I think that one looks really cool. That one got really good reviews. People liked it. I think the reason it didn't sell well though is the problem. But I heard it was really good. So I think that the curve does help. This came out in 2024, nice. Is this too flat if I do this? You know, here's the problem though, is that like the character has a hood. Should I make it wider than like the hood, or should I have it? I think it needs to stick to like the front of the head is the problem. I think it actually does need to be like this, and then, yeah, it'll look like this. That'll look fine. So it's gonna be sitting on his head like this. A darker gradient construction hat style groove. Yeah, and like I tried that for these. I'll get to that. I need to get the shape just right first. The hard hat under the hood. Well, then you wouldn't see it. I don't think I can do that. Oh, like underneath of the falling part. I don't think there's a way for me to do that. Okay, this is a pretty good baseline. I'm gonna copy this out right here. It's a little bit squished. Thank you for the Kick comment. I know that like no one's really watching on Kick right now. I haven't posted on there yet, but thank you for testing it out. That's a big reason for these streams, is that like it helps me test out that everything's working for chat and the chat stuff above my head. Because when I was doing my Kick stream, I did actually find a problem. There was a problem on Kick where if you did a message that was just an emoji, like this, then it wasn't even showing up. I had to fix that. And that problem wasn't happening on like Twitch or something. Like I was able to do this just fine. And it was no problem. Even if you don't use Kick, other people might. Exactly. And like, I was surprised. Like I went on Kick and I'm browsing. There's so many people streaming on Kick. I just didn't realize it. I'm gonna wait on shading actually. I want to get that. I like that ridge, the bump. It's like along the front though. Or I guess along the top. Yeah, it's along the top. How can I do that? Like that, I think. Oh, you know what's weird about this brim is that the brim is facing directly to the left, but I need to make it come forward, actually. Maybe I can use... No, I can't do that. I'm gonna have to use the shading to make that work. I think that the brim can actually come back in, because like it's a forced perspective thing where it's like that. That's looking more like a this is the closest I've gotten so far. That actually kind of looks like a hard hat, but it still needs something. It's still missing something. You're the only one in kick. I mean, it makes sense. I'm sure over time it'll catch up. Because the whole idea is, I think from now on, I'm just gonna have it streaming on all 3 platforms, or others if there's more in the future, and that gets the word out. It makes sure that it's functional on those platforms, and it gives me some insight. Plus, the other thing is I need to test for donations and test for subscriptions and gift memberships and stuff like that. And when I don't have an account myself that's capable of that, then I can't really test it. Add the bump on top. Yeah, let's try that. I'm kind of worried about making... How can I make this read better? Because you see what I mean here is that there's just not... It's gonna be too big of a bump. It's gonna be too big of a bump if I do that. How can I make that bump visible? That's why I'm looking at the shading to do it. Zonai Guardian. I love that name. That's a good name. Maybe I can make like the whole front bump up like this. I mean, if I went in this direction, it would be like a mining helmet where you would have the light source up here. And like that kind of looks like a mining helmet a little. I'm just experimenting with this. I don't think I'm actually gonna do this. I'm kind of pressed for space a little bit. That's okay. We're not gonna use that one. That one's ugly. This one's the closest so far. Is it practical to pixel art with mouse? Yes. I have absolutely no problems with it. See, like, I think the tablet is helpful when you're using high-res art, because, like, I open up Paint once in a while, and, like, I'll draw little things, and if I had a tablet for drawing right now, that would be a lot easier, because I don't have much hand control with a mouse. But if I had a tablet, I would have a lot more control. And I can't write with a mouse. It's really hard to write. Hi. Yeah, if I was drawing something like this, then having a tablet is way better. But with pixel art, you have so much room to like... The pixels are so big, the precision is not as necessary. Make a line on the bottom of the dark yellow, which can look like a little ridge. Then you can add some lines to show the curve. Oh, so that idea inspired me in a different way. Because we actually don't need this black line along the bottom of the hat. It's not necessary. Because it's going to be on the player. That seems like an obvious oversight that I shouldn't have noticed sooner. So because we don't need that black line, I think that kind of opens up our options here. We could even make it come down, maybe. That doesn't look good. I don't think that's gonna work. I guess I could probably try putting a dark shade on that. I don't think that's gonna work. I don't draw big sprites, yeah. I commission Tris Pixels for the big sprites. We're gonna experiment more with getting rid of this black line. How should I do this? Oh, you know, I can color the player. Like that. Get some shade. For some reason, the player's not using black here, but we can do that too. And maybe to help with the brim, we could make it like brighter. Someone was suggesting that. It's too large for the player. I could do that. That would be funny. This is getting there. Like, I know what I'm trying to do. Like, if I saw this, I would at least get it. We're gonna get rid of these extra layers. I'm just gonna merge it down, and we're gonna work off of one layer. Because now I'm thinking it might be best if I think ahead to how it's gonna blend onto the player's head. Maybe the darker line a pixel to the right. Darker line a pixel to the right. Oh, this one. It's also fine. So maybe I can try moving it down onto his head a little bit more. Like this. It's like a bomber helmet. No, the other line? Oh, this one? That's fine. I think that, yeah, maybe. Let's try. Does that look better? It's close. See, when you do that, like I see what you're trying to do though, because it gives you more room for that hump thing. Let's keep experimenting with that. I think there's potential. Reminds me of the Japanese elementary kid hats. Oh, it does! It does! I only know that from Pokemon, by the way. I didn't even know that was real. I'm surprised to see the refund for the adjusted game price of Dewdrop Dynasty. I saw that too, yeah. In fact, it says it in like my Steam wallet. It says $8.58 because he refunded it. I think that I need to make it taller, maybe. Here, I'm gonna do another one. This pixel art process, by the way, is just how I do it. Is where I just attempt it, and then eventually one of them is gonna look better than the others. And like, I do think this one does look better than the others. This one's not bad, but something's just not quite right. It's a little off. Be cool to make that an accessory. Yeah, that would be cool to make it an accessory. And I kind of plan on doing that. Here, I'll go ahead and show it. Is the idea with the hard hat, the reason I made it in the first place is because for level editing, I think that I want there to be, I have the tools, you know, you can equip the shovel and place blocks down, and that's how you design levels. But as part of it, I think that there should be like a level editor mode or some kind of thing. Because for example, you can't walk out of bounds, and sometimes you do need to place things out of bounds, and there's no grid. So the idea was maybe there can be an equipable item, like an accessory, like this hard hat. And when you click on the hard hat and equip it, then it shows the grid. and now you can walk out of bounds. Basically, you're in like construction mode. You're in build mode when you have the hard hat equipped. And maybe I could even draw it on top of his head once I have it looking good. And when you're in this mode, just things are a little bit more catered towards the build process. You can go out of bounds, and there might be some other little settings that will make things easier for building. So that's the reason why I made the hard hat in the first place. But now I'm just kind of like, this is just for show. I'm just trying to make it look good. Because, oh, I know, because in the thumbnail for the next devlog, I want to have a picture of Lua with a hard hat. So I really want to make this look right. But it's kind of hard to do that. I am finding. This one looks all right. Like, I'm seeing that, and like I can tell what it's supposed to be. So let's take this one and kind of keep iterating on it. Did anyone here play the 1,000 Year Door remake? Because I was really wanting to play that, but they didn't. It didn't have. It was lower frame rate than the original version. This kind of looks okay. New PC case today, awesome. How would it look if Lua wore it slightly diagonally tilted back? Oh, let's try that. That's a cool idea. I'm gonna do this in layers again. Let's try that. I like that idea. The remake being at 30 FPS is just outrageous. I agree. It makes me insane. It makes me so mad. Because they did a good job with it. It looks like a really good game. Can you change the weather on the level editor? Yes. I'll show that. So the goal is that the toolbox is kind of like the home base for level design stuff. So you go into the toolbox, edit level properties, go into weather, and we can change the snow to 0, rain to 4, make it windier. So yeah, all that stuff is really easily configurable. GameCube ran at 60, no issues. It's so weird that they took a step back with that. But they like made new music for all the new areas, so all the battle themes are customized, and I love that. And I like how everything looks in the remake, but it's such a shame. So we're gonna try what Korik suggested, where it's like tilted. We're gonna take this. We're gonna go to layer 2. This is one of the songs in my playlist that I had to clean up a little bit, because the original version that I had playing was, I think it was 6 minutes long. So whenever this would play on the stream, it would just take forever. Trying to get the shape a little bit better. Nothing ever rotates quite right. It's not bad. I'm wondering what the next Pokemon Presents or Nintendo Direct is. I'm excited for that. Probably talking about Winds and Waves, right? Because Winds and Waves is supposed to be the next game, and it's going to be coming out this year. Looks like a visor. I need to fix that. It looks like he's wearing like a cool baseball cap. I think there's potential with that, though. What else can we try? That is pretty funny. It looks like he's wearing like a cool baseball cap. I'm gonna go ahead and like give him a cool design. That looks awesome. I would wear that. We're entering the TF2 era of Moonshire with hats. Oh man, should I put hats in the game? I guess they would look good. Okay, enough of the hats. Enough of the hats. Holy scope! I know exactly. I need a freaking focus. I'll never finish the game. Baseball hat weapon? I don't know how a weapon would look. What? Oh, whoops! I'm on the wrong layer. So should it be up like this, or should it be down? Okay, now... Oh, baseball bat weapon. I misread that. Yeah, totally. That would work. You know, I think that when you have a vertical slice like that, it kind of reads. This needs one more right here. Okay, I think it's getting there. Take the front slice and move it a pixel to the right. Would add a pixel that makes it look like the hat is going around the character's head. Take the front slice. Oh. Like... this whole thing? Or like this one. So, well, I do kind of want it to stick out, though. Is like, I want it to be like a rim. I'm thinking of, like, these where it has a rim sticking out. Yeah, all of them have a little slight rim sticking out. That's all I'm trying to do. And I don't think the rim needs to be this far out. It now looks like a bucket hat. It looks like a cool trendy bucket hat. But how do I make the... how do I make it come together? Nice haircut, thank you. Oops. This is hard. This is hard. We are inventing every type of hat except for hard hat. We are, literally. Oh, and Lua? Oh, yeah, I guess Lua did get a haircut. Whoop. Oh, why do I have 2 layer 2s? When did that happen? Oh, I'm accidentally copying the whole layer. That's not what I wanted to do. That was dumb. When I look at all of these, I think this is the closest one. I like the angle up, but I don't think it's gonna... It's not quite right. It's just not quite right. This one still looks a little bit more like a hard hat. What's wrong layer? And you go 1 pixel over the eyes to make it rounded. I like with this. Yeah, I can try that, but like, the whole hat kind of needs to be designed around it, I think. Which is fine, I can do that. I'll try that with this one then. Maybe like one eye. No, that looks dumb. Yeah, if it's gonna be, if any eye is gonna be covered, it has to be. I mean, 1 pixel overlap on the left, not to the right. So selection down. I'm just experimenting. I'm thinking very hard about this. Make it hang over the hood. Isn't that what it's doing? I'm struggling a little bit. I'm on the struggle bus. I think it reads. Like, if I use this for the thumbnail, I think people will get it. Love the demo of the game? Thank you. Oh, look at that. Hard hats and bunnies on one stream. Oh, yes, thank you for reminding me. We got 10 more minutes to draw a bunny. Something about this looks better. I don't know how. That's pretty good, thank you. That did help. I don't know how. But like, I see this and it's not bad. Not bad, it's okay. What's up, guys? Thank you for being here, Adele. We're just working on some pixel art. Is the BGM from the game itself? No, the BGM, it says above my head what the music's from. I think that I'm gonna call this good. I think this is not bad. Like, I see this and I'm like, that is a hard hat. You touched the gold lead, the game crashed. There's a bunch of crashes in the game, I know. It'll be fixed. And then, we're moving on to the main event. Bunnies. But specifically, we're gonna draw bunnies that are like in-game bunnies that will fit the size. Cause like a rabbit in-game is gonna be very small. We'll do the obvious route first. We're gonna get his body. Okay, there's my rabbit. Yeah, the demo hasn't been updated for quite a long time. It's gonna be awesome when it does. I'm working on a, like, the new version of the demo is going to be focused on people being able to use this level editor so that I can have people helping me out with testing, like, level design stuff. Because the current Steam demo is based around, like, actually completing the dungeons and the bosses, but I'm doing a lot of work on level design at the moment. Let's start with the head. You know, actually, I think I have to have the ears, like, together. I can't have them have a gap, because there's not enough room. So it's gonna have to be, like, up like this, and then line down, and then another ear here. See, that looks like a bunny. It's just, yeah, he's too big though. That's cute. I think this reads as a bunny. Make him a white bunny. Need a little cottontail. If the bunnies get in water, their ears lie flat. Oh yeah, that's a good idea. See, this is the challenge, is that there's just so few pixels to work with, it's hard to get the details in there. You script all by yourself, never use Codex Claude? I use AI agents once in a while. Like, already this bunny's too big. Use an API. I use GitHub Copilot. Lily pads to the water. Yes, that'd be great. Especially now that there's like there's platforming in the game. I could totally add like a platforming section where you jump across lily pads. I love that idea. The ears would be what they use to swim. Oh, that's a cool idea. All animals better wear the proper hats on the construction site. That's a great idea. Search for a reference. Yeah, let's do a reference for a tiny bunny. Cartoon bunny. Cartoon bunny. I want to see what like a cartoon bunny looks like. Like, these are adorable. That's really cute. So I think I'm gonna make him like kind of like that, which I did. I mean, like, I have the ears together. That's the big thing that I did. The ears are like side by side for the perspective. Maybe I can make his ears go back farther, because they are a little bit short. I'd love them to be longer. You want to make your own game? How do you start? You just go for it. So I already said this earlier in the stream, but you gotta stick with something that's like manageable. Start with a really easy game idea, just to get started, just to get a feel for it. And then once you make your first little project, just a small game, then you'll get like some familiarity with it that'll give you insight on what to do next. It is hard getting started. I'm with you. It is tough. Pong about to be mentioned. I was like trying to resist. I was trying so hard to resist. I'm gonna work on his legs. His legs are just bad. That actually looks all right. I think I'm at a point where I kind of like it. What more can I do? What more can I do to this bunny to make him look more like a bunny? The back legs need to be bigger because bunnies have bigger back legs. This is... I can shade him. I haven't shaded him yet. Let's do that. What color should his shading be? Let me get like, should I make it blue or pink? I'll make it like purple. No, I don't want a purple. Let's do like skin color. Make it a killer bunny from Minecraft. I'll make it Banicula. Will Moonshire ever be added to Nintendo? I don't know. I would love to have it posted or like published on Nintendo Switch. I think that'd be cool. But that's not something I'm prioritizing right now. Let's look at more cartoon bunnies. Because I still feel like mine's missing something. I think they have a little bit of, yeah, they all have pink on their ears. That's a big one, is they all have pink on their ears, so I need to get that in there. Desaturated pink, though. See, isn't that hard? Because, like, I don't have enough pixels to do that. I'd have to make the ears wider, and I don't want to do that. Oh, man, yeah, I don't think I can... I can't really do that. I don't know what to do without that. Nedcore, hi, welcome in. How many time needs Moonshire to be completed? I mean, it's going through different iterations. I don't even... It's hard to say. Wait until the next demo comes out, and it's gonna be like it's gonna be a much clearer direction at that point. Bunny's ears go the other way? Like forward? I guess I could separate them. I didn't even think about doing that. Yeah, I was too married to the ears. Let's try something different. So the ears go over its head. Okay. Let's get this right. do about this? Something is a little off. Rescue Squad, thank you for being here. What if one of them kind of folds flops? I could try that. That's a good idea too. I think that this is actually a pretty good shape. This looks like ears now. Those look like bunny ears. The face is smaller though. Maybe I can give him like colored eyes? Like blue eyes? Like that? Oh, that looks good. That looks great. Something about its face doesn't look like a bunny. I think the shape is really good though. The ears look nice. Have I played Silksong? Yes, I did. Did I grade the map? I don't know what you mean by that. Yep, I played. I got the true ending, even. I did the whole thing. And that is a lot of work. For anyone out there who has played Silksong, you know how hard it is. This kind of looks like teeth. What more can I do? What more can I do? How do you choose your stream playlist? Oh, that's a good question. My stream playlist really is just a combination of all my favorite games and favorite songs from those games. And specifically, I choose songs that don't get distracting, because a lot of songs are like really hype and fast and loud, and I don't choose any of those songs. Most of the songs I choose are like video game background music for levels, like this song. It just plays in the background really nicely. Playing Silksong right now for the second time. I bought the game again on Steam. I'm in Biowater. Oh my gosh. Wow. Make sure you find, there's a hidden bench that makes it a little better, but it's still horrible. That area like soured my experience with the game, unfortunately. Add carrots in his mouth? Oh, that's a cute idea. I think this is pretty decent. Yeah, I like this. I think this is all right. It does. I think it reads as a bunny, and it's the right size, because that's the hard part, is that if the player is this size, then a rabbit would be small. And even this rabbit, like if a real life rabbit was this big, where it came up to your like shoulders, that would be scary. If I saw a rabbit that came up to my shoulders, I would be terrified. The orange gem now have a function. Not yet, but like, I've been working hard on giving assignments to all of those items. It is funny though, like you get the orange gem, it's like there's nothing here yet, can't do anything with it. That tool makes the area so much more manageable with the tool, like moving stuff around. I use it all the time. Looks like the right size, bunny next to Lula. I agree, I think that this is a good size. Yeah, I'm satisfied with this. And we are at time. That ended up working out really nicely. So that was a great stream. We were able to try out a lot of things, tried out a little bit of character like reorganization, worked on the hard hat, worked on the bunny. Yeah, so it was a lot of experimentation, a lot of pixel art stuff. Add a tail. I think that this counts as the tail. It's just like a little rump. I don't think it needs to stick out any farther than that. Next stream, animated bunnies, and they multiply. That's so awesome. I should make like a Conway's Game of Life version that uses this bunny, and they just like multiply. It's a great idea. But yeah, on that note, very good stream. Thank you all so much for being here. It was a great one. And I will be back next week for more Moonshire Monday. Thank you to everyone who are here on Kick, like Baron, and Twitch, like Baron and Codehaska, and Rockeb, Corix, Nedcore, Sarah, Sifark, and there was probably some others as well, Allfather, and then on YouTube as well. Thank you so much for being here. Rick Carlson, the old school geek himself. Rick Carlson gave a donation at the start of the stream. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate it. Rethanon, Baron, Wolf, Sarah Thomas, Spinoshara, and CG Krez. Who else was here? Nart and Jasmine, and who else? Greta and Future 34. Thank you so much for being here. I will be back next week. Adele for... Let's see who else. Am I missing anyone? Felixin, thank you for being here. I appreciate all the people, all the recognizable names, and I will be back next week for more Moonshire Monday. Bye, everyone.